one cannot hear you. She walks again the paths she forsook, wading through familiar darkness. Well met, my friend. Strange to see you beneath these noisy skies. I find I much prefer the quiet depths of the sea. There is a place in the depths that calls you. A domain both mine and not mine, lingering on the seabed for centuries. I have a certain fondness for it. I once helped it grow, yet from the beginning, it has been stagnant. Its beginning was your doing, Arthur. Now that you have returned, help it move at last. Quite so. Though it would do you good to show some respect for your king. It calls itself the Sanctuary of Sarras. That is a name you should remember, my friend. After all, you would not be here without it. By descending into the coldest depths of the sea, how else? Do not fear. You will not drown. I will not permit it. But there, my part ends. What follows is yours to shape. I trust you will not keep me waiting too long, my friend.
I have no idea. The menhirs were Merlin and Nimue's domain. I was mostly just relieved they worked. Although I've always felt an odd sense of familiarity with them. I think they reacted to the power we now wield. The Four-Dweller element within us. But why and how? That's beyond even my understanding. But tell me, are you well? You were unconscious for a while. I'm not inside your mind. I can watch, and sometimes I can help, but nothing more than that. Your feelings, your pain, they're yours alone. I cannot take them from you, nor shield you from them. Throughout my life, I've rarely been idle. This helplessness feels unsettling at times. Good. That's good. You're admirably resilient. You remind me of some of my knights. The ones who helped me to build Avalon. Never surrendering, never backing down. We may not have chosen each other's company, but I'm glad it's you I ended up traveling with. Why? Are you wondering if I, too, had a torrid affair with a court musician? No. The only bard we had was Taliesin. He was old, smelled of stale wine, and had a beard down to his knees. I'm quite certain all those tales of his beauty came from him alone. The court itself was not my favorite place to be. The intrigues, the manipulations. At times, they almost made me long for the battlefield. A great tragedy befell the priestesses there, and to think that the strength of their faith was enough to bind a four-dweller. There is still so much we do not know about the true potential of the weirdness. I never imagined it could become a prison for the beings shaped by its will. But that four-dweller, there was something familiar about her, as if we had met before, a very long time ago. In her presence, I felt an odd sense of peace, even amid the terror that had overtaken the temple. Strange, and strangely comforting. Well, the apple has fallen far from the tree. I don't see the heir of Palamedes in him. His ancestor was a ruler devoted to his people. He was even capable of defying me when the situation called for it. I always respected him for that. And Yvain, I see a man trying to please everyone. That is the gravest sin a leader can commit. Decisions are never easy, but they must be made. I see that the current lord is trying to delay that moment, and I fear it's his people who will suffer most because of his indecision. I know much time has passed. I just hope Palamedes' bloodline wasn't diluted by the carelessness of one of Yvain's foremothers. No. My subjects were usually well disposed towards them, grateful for their magic. Merlin was held in high esteem by the common folk. Of course, there was mistrust at times, even open hostility, but never like this. Nobody was ever so twisted by hatred as to herd them into a giant wicker man and set them alight. Like many things in Avalon, it seems. But yes, they used to be quite influential. Sometimes unnervingly so. They had the ears and hearts of the people, and they made them rather bold in voicing their opinions. As you can imagine, we didn't always see eye to eye. That led to some unfortunate confrontations. I couldn't allow people to openly disagree with me, no matter the influence they thought they held among my subjects. The temple's representatives didn't approve of my use of the weirdness during the war, and they made their opposition public. I decided that such opposition deserved punishment. Sometimes it's necessary, and that was one of those times. In times of war, a leader cannot appear weak, cannot afford to look uncertain. Call it what you like, but war demands obedience, not debate. Does it matter? As long as the result is the betterment of the people, what difference does it make? Guilt is a powerful motivator, and a useful one at that. My sisters taught me that, time and time again. It is a bold decision, and I am glad he finally made it. It was wise of him to invoke the old laws. Camelot will not dare to break them, and the men here will remain in Kuanacht, at least until the lives of its people are in immediate danger. It's an ancient law I established myself. I am glad you chose to help him. With company like this, his mission may yet succeed. Even if Yvain does not return, his actions will be remembered. Of that, I am certain. Yes, in the homelands. I thought we could leave him there, but he escaped to Avalon. He took on human form, or rather he used one of his followers as a vessel. It was only when he sensed that Nimue, Merlin's apprentice, had discovered his true nature that he revealed his real form. The beast grew to the size of a mountain, striding toward the temple his followers had built for him deep in the woods. I dread to think what would have happened if he'd made it there. We barely managed to bring him down, and clearly, not completely. I outlawed the Stagfather's cult, but I see that 6 centuries later, it's still around, and surprisingly, among the Dalrita as well. I thought they worshipped only Mathea. I can only assume that Camelot is no longer what I once built it to be. If it were up to me, the old agreements would still be honored. But if they went through with such an attack, then they must have had a reason. I suspect it was the need to secure resources in case the weirdness thickens. All signs point to that. The men here in Kuanacht, the assault on the Gunvalder, and we don't yet know what else they've done. Don't ask if I would have done the same. We cannot truly know what the situation in Camelot is like now. No, how would I? The tribes were our allies, but they commanded their own forces. The truth is, that war made monsters out of us all. The Four Dwellers weren't just any normal enemy. The way they looked, the way they wielded the weirdness. To many, they seemed almost godlike. I don't condone what the Volker did, but sadly, I understand it. That is without a doubt the work of the throne he sat upon. It is carved into the lone pillar, a very powerful artifact, more powerful than I had ever imagined. The lone pillars have long emanated a powerful energy that we never fully understood. At first, we thought they worked like menhirs, but when they showed no such properties, we paid them little mind. And once I gifted those lands to the tribes, our access became limited. Still, I know the lone pillars once served the giants as a conduit for the Four Dwellers' will. When the time came for them to depart, the giants would approach a pillar and surrender their life force to it. They believed that by doing so, they would merge with the weirdness and become immortal. And after what happened to Thrygva, I'm beginning to believe they might have been right. They were a young and ambitious guild, mostly centered around the Royal Academy in Camelot. We were all strangers in a strange land, with everything still to be discovered. They were vital to our survival on Avalon. Their healing potion alone saved countless lives. I wasn't there when they began to change. It pains me to see that a once respected guild has been reduced to what it is now. No, but there were female druids. Not many, though. Merlin had a few women apprenticing under him. My sister Morgaine also followed the druidic path, until she invented one of her own, of course. I don't recall the rite of passage ever having such tragic consequences. I always believed it was symbolic. Perhaps this land truly is cursed after all. Now you ask me, when it was your choices and actions that led to those consequences. You managed to unite all of the Dalrita. That is no small feat, especially considering they tend to fight each other when they have no one else to battle. Gerfana should be pleased. Some, like the All-Mother, the Morrigan, and the Stagfather, yes. But there were many others as well. It feels like we once had a god or godling for every little thing. I suppose that kind of faith faded with time. Maybe people stopped needing gods for their small troubles when every problem began to feel larger than life. I used to follow the beliefs of my clan, but I abandoned them long ago. I'm not one for blind, mindless faith. After that, I believed in ideas, in people. I believed anything could be achieved if you put your mind to it, especially on Avalon. Now, I'm not sure what I believe in anymore. I'd rather not talk about it any further. You just encouraged a Four-Dweller spy to fly straight back to Tuathan after 600 years of gathering intelligence. I see nothing funny about that, and quite frankly, I'm appalled by your lack of judgment. Your decision was just. Imprisoning the Four-Dwellers for centuries. I would never have expected such a thing from Ephraim the First. Nor from the Four-Dwellers themselves, that even after such long captivity, they would still choose to honor their word, leaving behind the knowledge the Stone Wardens so desperately sought. You should not be surprised that one of them challenged you to a duel. It was a matter of honor, a way to hasten their return home. A small price to pay for the grace they showed the Stone Wardens when they were under no obligation to grant it. He might have been, but I don't recall us ever meeting in person. Merlin had many apprentices, and Nimue was the most gifted among them, but even she never spoke in my presence. It is possible Merlin forbade his students from speaking to me, though why he would do such a thing, I cannot say. But Orin seems devoted to a cause he believes in. It's a refreshing perspective, and unlike any we've seen so far. Honestly, I had hoped his discoveries might help me recover some of my lost memories. Sadly, they did not. I remember what Merlin and I chose to do. I simply thought I could reconstruct the reasoning behind our decision. But it seems even Orin wasn't certain of that. I regret that Merlin didn't share his thoughts and decisions with his apprentices. They might have helped us now, on this journey. I'm not ready to answer that question, and I sense the final decision won't be mine to make. You're more important than you think, and our fates are bound together to the very end. In the end, Orin's opinion may not even matter. And what do you think would have become of Avalon if the warlike Dalrita, already revering the giants as they are now, had the chance to worship them as living, active beings? The giants were too powerful to remain among us, especially on lands gifted to the tribes of the Dalrita. There were those among us who demanded their complete destruction. That I would not allow. It was already punishment enough that they enslaved their own children and used them as a bargaining tool. I do not blame the Theod mother for her anger. She has every right to it. At the time, I saw no other way. We had no way to control the giants, and we couldn't allow them to form an alliance with the Four-Dwellers. So we resorted to deception. The giants are cunning creatures. Had we not gained the upper hand, they would have turned on us at the first opportunity. I am not proud of it, but war follows its own cruel laws. I certainly had no time to consider whether it was the right one. Time cannot be turned back, nor can the decisions made. Let that be the end of it. I have nothing more to add. Never, until now, seeing it through your eyes. A truly fascinating phenomenon. It only proves how little we understood about the Four-Dwellers. Sadly, our encounters with them were limited to the battlefield. We knew they created helpers for themselves, but their use appeared strictly military. We saw creatures that dragged the bodies of fallen Four-Dwellers off the battlefield, like great hands retrieving their dead, or living beacons that revealed the location of our camps. But this construct seems even older. It must have been created before we ever arrived, back when they could explore their lands in peace. Lands we had to wrest from them, just to survive. We had no time for such speculation. As you know, survival in this hostile land was all that mattered to us. But now, with the construct's claim that they might have been the fathers of the Four-Dwellers, it does give one pause. Who knows? Perhaps humans, too, might one day learn to coexist with the weirdness. But first, we must give them the time, so they may have a chance to find out. War never makes sense. It is a tool for survival. Had I refused to wage war against the Four-Dwellers, humanity would never have survived on Avalon. So if Gurfhanna declares war on Camelot, Avalon will once again drown in blood. But don't ask me what I think of it. Through your eyes, I see that Camelot is no longer the place I left behind. When I gave the forlorn swords to the tribes of the Dalrita, there was nothing of substance here. A few abandoned giant caves, the occasional lone pillar, nothing more. What stands now must have arisen after my time. And I must admit, I'm impressed with how they've made it their own. Their resilience speaks for itself.
Must. I must get in. I'll convince the twins. They'll let me in. I'll reach the sanctuary at last. I'll see the sanctuary as soon as I get my sight back. No time to talk. No one will reach the sanctuary before me. It calls to me. I can hear its calling. I must hold on just a little longer. I thought the sanctuary wanted a sacrifice. I drank the water of life from the chapel. The body doesn't matter. Only the eyes of the soul do. Just a little longer, I'll descend into the sanctuary. Fools. Only I matter. Only I can descend into the sanctuary. No, don't drink. Don't drink. Don't drink the water of life. Try me. Try me, and maybe then I'll be worthy. The shrine will hear my plea.
Sir Lohengrin, the one unready for the descent.
Worry not. The blood upon your hands will fade.
The waters of the descent shall cleanse what remains.
If you are the one.
In the Age of Legends, as King Arthur waged his fateful war against the Four Dwellers, countless lesser tales unfolded in the shadows of that great struggle. Stories shaped by hardship and danger. Stories that would evolve for centuries to come. One such tale, nearly forgotten on Avalon, tells of a rebellion rising within Arthur's own ranks. Nimue, a young disciple of Merlin, shaken by the horrors of war, longed to return to the homelands, even if it meant defying her king. Led by her resolve, the rebels gathered several of Arthur's finest ships, including the proud flagship Sarras, and set their course for home, no matter the cost. But Merlin, they say, would never suffer betrayal. Drawing upon ancient, forbidden forces, he unleashed a wrath destined to be remembered, turning the deserters' escape into a spectacle burned into the memory of all who served Arthur. 6 centuries later, a lone wanderer steps towards a hidden, long-forgotten passage, ready to uncover the truth behind the legend of Sarras and the fate of those who dared to turn their backs on Avalon.
She's impatient, lady. She'll hear you. You must not invoke the lady's name in vain. She calls for change. We must accept it. The waves of knowledge are ever present. Nothing will change that. But change is inevitable. Forgive me. All these thoughts at once. I feel as though I'm drowning in the waves of knowledge. But you're here. You're here, just as it was foretold. The wave of change follows you, and soon it will spread across all of Sarras. He is here with you, isn't he? The song I heard was true. A song given to me by a messenger who has already met with you twice. This messenger, he came to me. Twice. The first time, he kindled hope. The second time, your meeting was far more direct. By then, he was certain the king truly returned. And this time, for good. And with that, I dared to think even this place might be changed. Names. Names. I know I should have them. Yet I don't know them, or perhaps I simply don't care. What I should care about is purpose. Purpose and meaning. Those are brought to me by the mighty messenger. Although I don't think that's his proper name. Naming names! What a horror! I only know this. You're here because you're meant to be here. You have your purpose. A place of torment. A place of deliverance. Our place. But to be precise, right now, we stand before the Tower of the Depths. And you stand among us, unthinkable. Wondrous beyond words. A need. Everyone has something they need, don't they? I know well what yours is. The head of the Carnix, that once rested above on the upper floor. Now stolen by a wretched thief. Where was I heading? Anyway. Yes, thoughts. Whirling memories. Rise up, but wither at once. That is your need. Yes, do that. At once. Now, go. Deal with the thief. Bring back what was lost. And then we shall speak again. But wait. Where are you supposed to go? There's a cave nearby. I can hear the Carnix faintly calling from within. Someone wishes to keep me out. But they do not expect you. You won't face the same problem.
I know that smell. The stench of a landlubber. Better turn back while you still can. This is no place to lose your way. Well, well. Look what crawled into this filthy hole with me. I haven't seen a live one down here in, never. Come to roll in the muck with us? Familiarize yourself with our stench. Want to smell the rotting glory of the sanctuary and all its foul denizens? Name's Squall. I run my own den. I carve it in the likeness of the seas I sailed and the shores I saw on the surface. The outside, this Sarras, it is a foul mockery, an insult to true sea dogs. This isn't a place for the likes of you, with your sun-kissed skin and fresh air in your lungs. Piss off before you start growing barnacles on your back. It ain't a pleasant feeling. Ah, so you must be Josephus's precious surface brat. He must be ecstatic, or he would be, if his head weren't like a morning scramble. Truth be told, I prefer him that way. The nonsense he spews now is better than his usual. So, I stole the Carnix. What of it? To snuff out any chance of light crawling back to this damned shore. To let those cockroaches rot in the dark a little longer. Besides, I like the dark. It covers what shouldn't be seen. The growths, the feelers, the greenish-gray skin that shouldn't still be walking around. I stole the Carnix so Sarras could be true to itself. You've walked into a graveyard, surface brat, and graveyards deserve darkness. They deserve quiet. They deserve to be forgotten. You don't say. They betrayed the sea, robbed us of a sailor's death. They put their faith in that horrible thing, and what they built out there, it is an abomination. Traitors and oathbreakers, the lot of them. Is that what Josephus calls this? Living, stupid surface brat. You're making yourself a puppet in his hands. And when you try to cut the strings, he'll cut you. I'm not giving you the Carnix. I'll fight for it tooth and nail until that husk of a body won't hold me no more.
I mustn't. I need to be patient. It will be over soon. Oh, finally. Our Sarras in all its glory. I never knew I would miss it this much. The sound that resonates and quickens the spirit. It is good to hear it once more. And this light. I had almost forgotten how beautiful it is. It brings clarity and quiets the mind. Forgive me for my indisposition earlier. At times, an excess of sights and knowledge seems to overwhelm me. Allow me to introduce myself, this time in a proper way. I am Josephus, a sailor of Captain Lear's crew. Glad to welcome you in the sanctuary of Sarras, child of the surface. Tell me, was it Squall who dared steal the Carnix? My dear child of the surface, everything changed. When you blew the Carnix, the knowledge flowing through me finally stopped being so floody. But if you want to keep the name for yourself, so be it. I was under the impression I should respect your decisions, no matter what they might be. I'm still not sure if it's Nimue's command, or the Lord of the Depths himself. Anyway, I need to obey. Ah, yes. The next step. You were brought here at Nimue's bidding. She wishes to meet you, yet she lies beyond the deepest of depths, and only Captain Lear knows the path to her. But here we are. The hour has come. We must rouse that old cur from his slumber, and for that, the melody of the deep must be played once more. I will need the help of my old companions, Ercol and Apps. This is the second thing I ask of you, child of the surface. You must find them and persuade them to play their part. Each of them remains bound to what was appointed to them. Apps is the caretaker of the children of the one who gave us life. You will find him in the Ulcerate. And Ercol tends to the Lord of the Sea's knowledge in the archive. It's truly a sacred duty. He made sure that nobody would trouble him. Just be careful, child of the surface. It has been a long time since I last spoke with these two. Sarras is not a safe place, and their domains might have turned even more spiteful. Stay vigilant, though something tells me your presence here isn't mere coincidence. When you convince them, we'll meet at the chapter house, and consider yourself invited, of course. Trust me, you won't want to miss the moment we play the organ. Ah, and here, this is for you. Some parts of the sanctuary require you to cut into their bowels to enter, and they won't yield to any surface blade.
So it was you who brought the light back to our land, was it? Thank you. Genuinely. I felt suffocated. The darkness kept me trapped here, and I've been stuck in one place for too many years already. It doesn't matter. You'll meet others like me, reef bounds, and I'll treat you with proper respect. As for me, I'd rather see myself disappear into the sea of knowledge. Because of the shifting waves, I ended up stranded here, but thanks to you, I can finally move on. Forward, if the Lord of the Depths allows it. I've heard of a place where I won't be disturbed. That's what I miss the most, Toplander. A bit of peace. Oh yes, very much so. I'm escaping the cage built for me by the one who should have been closest to my heart. I'm running from guilt and injustice. The kind that gets planted in your mind and grows until you start believing it's your own. Tell me, how would you feel if someone dear to you kept saying they couldn't live without you, even though you know it isn't true? Then why keep doing it to yourself? You actually believed it? Take it from me. As long as your loved one still has their own tail and fins, they'll manage just fine without you. Let them shout, let them throw things, but don't fall for their games. It's not worth it. Took me years to realize I was just a pawn in someone else's game, letting myself be used. But I finally found the strength to walk away, and I won't let anyone stop me again.
Well, well, well. Aren't you something? Josephus was right. The child of the surface actually exists. What a surprise. And that Carnix thing, that was your doing, wasn't it? I thought so. Now I wonder if you'll manage to bring the other organists. But enough about you. I'm Merrick. If you're willing, we can strike a bargain. I never fully believed all those stories about the child of the surface. Why would anyone ever come down here from up there? And Josephus tends to tangle facts. Sometimes he speaks about two unrelated things, as if they were somehow connected. I think it's something with his head. Not enough air in there, perhaps. Or maybe that is when he truly is himself. But it happens to everyone, doesn't it? Abs and Urkel. Those two are not quite the charmers Josephus is. One adores violence, the other hoards words. Knowledge. What's the use of it when we're trapped in a place like this anyway? Papa would like us to have us near him, no doubt. And still, we're left to curl up here, beneath the roots. Lord of the seas, terror of the deep. He bears many names, for he is manifold and unfathomable. Like the sea itself, the sea is his domain, and we are his faithful, his children. Some believe we should find a way to let the sea into Sarras, to become one with the rest of our father's house, the infinite waters. He's a feisty one. He has to be to perform his duties. He tends to our Lord's children, raises them, tames them, and tries not to be eaten in the process. The children are always hungry, you know. Be careful when entering his domain, the ulcerate. You might end up as a meal yourself. He isn't human anymore. I doubt he ever truly was. His mind is entirely devoted to the will of the Lord and his knowledge. Try not to disturb him while he's working. And for the love of the sea, never, ever bring disorder into his dominion. It could harm Sarras as we know it. Joseph has told me the story of the founding of this place 100 times over. And each time, he's just as drunk on his own words. The chapter house this, the chapter house that. From that whole ramble, I remember only this much. He built it together with the other three. Lear, Urkel, and Abs. Back when they still felt anything nice for one another. Now Lear sleeps, and the organists are divided. Problem is hardly the right word. Problems are for friends or lovers. Something drove the organists apart. That much is certain. No one dared to ask what. Oh yes, I knew him well. Long ago, at the very beginning, he would visit the chapter house from time to time. He seemed like a sweet boy, a bit shy, always absorbed in browsing my wares. That cave of his, he truly tried to carve a place for himself there. But I think he carried a great deal of grief inside him. A longing for things that could never be. I never thought it would drive him to such madness. I'm sure you'll find something pretty for yourself. Yes, yes. Leave old Merrick all on her own.
So, you have come. This is the chapter house. A beautiful place, is it not? So full of calm. It is far more welcoming when Sarras is not wrapped in darkness. Make yourself at home. If you have any questions, I will try to answer them. And if you have not yet spoken with the other residents of the chapter house, I believe they will be glad to meet you. It was his doomed song that gave birth to all of this. Sarras, once a ship that braved the boundless seas, now a sanctuary on the ocean floor. Lear was a true captain. He would not forsake Sarras, even as it sank to its end. Nor did he abandon us, his most loyal crew. He became our heresiarch and the first saint. Think. What did our dear Nimue tell me? It was of great pain and long, tiring waiting. It was also something about the need to let go of old hopes and the need to move on, but I do not remember her exact words. We did not speak directly. Nimue's will was passed to me through the twins. Only Lear could talk to Nimue face to face. Only Lear. Giant... Please remember that the twins are not just some common fish. They are the 8th generation of the Carers. Like Abysodontis, they hatched from the first row left to us by the Lord of the Seas himself. I must admit, I am somewhat offended by such ignorance. With that attitude, you will not get far, child. When we descended to the depths and Sarras became a sanctuary, the Lord of the Seas gave us the road that would begin the first generations of his children. Abyssodontis and the twins are but two among the many creatures he gave life to. Yes, Sarras is bound to its sound. Its tremble can awaken the sanctuary. In the old days, the Carnic served Captain Lear and his lieutenants to announce that it was time to set out on the next voyage. The organ, on the other hand, were the muscles that bore it across the water. Lear played the melody according to the length of the journey and the peril of the seas he sailed. In this art, he was without equal. Yes, thank you. It's kind of you to ask. My memories come and go like the tide. Too much knowledge does not serve me well. Sometimes I remember everything at once. Vast torrents of understanding pour over me as if I were standing beneath a waterfall. And the next day, I may barely recall who I am. Memories and knowledge are taking my breath. Now it is bearable. Before you brought the Carnics, I felt uneasy in my own mind. Ah yes, Tristan. That is what a broken heart looks like. Poor soul. As he drowned, he saw the love of his life, Isolde, in our Nimue. He fell in love with her and swore he would guard her for eternity. Yes, I think so. I do not know if it was a grieving heart that turned his love toward another, trying to reach for anything, or if, to him, Isolde and Nimue truly became one and the same. I have to admit that I never met Lady Isolde myself. Perhaps the right question is whether she ever truly existed, or she is only a part of a tale about a bold knight searching for his lady. He has sat in the chapter house for a long time now, watching so no one brings harm to the one who'll be able to reach Nimue. He even frightened Lear once, when he heard that he wished to raise his hand against her. I think, deep within, he awaits the moment he may finally look upon his beloved. Yet he will wait as long as the depths bar the way to Nimue. Peace in death. That is impossible. Tristan is cursed with eternal drowning. Love binds him to life. No matter how many times he falls in battle, he comes back. After many deaths, he finally stops speaking. Just like that. I haven't seen that old fellow in a long time, to be honest. I've no idea what he's up to now. But back in the day, when we both served as Sarras' crewmen, he was always uptight and followed orders to the letter. Off duty, he was always writing something or buried in books, gathering knowledge. It's no surprise the Lord of the Seas chose him to be the caretaker of the archive. He was the only one who truly seemed destined for the job, and actually enjoyed it. Ah, that one was a real sea dog. He was a pirate until Captain Lear claimed him for service aboard his ship. He cared most for the crew, even if it meant barking orders or taking up the whip when needed. It's only fitting he ended up looking after the Lord's children. Don't let his cold demeanor fool you. He's got the most fiery and caring heart of us all. May Sarras treat you gently.